Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this attempted new figure unboxing and review, we're going to be looking at the Transformers Legacy Evolution. This is their Guardian robot under the Generation Select. So as I say, attempted because this is completely filling up my entire review station. We're going to have a quick look at the box, we're going to have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. I've got the eHobby original that this is based upon, so we can have a look at a comparison with that, and we can also compare him to the original owner of the mold, which is of course the Siege version of the Titan Mega Supreme as well. So let's have a quick look at the packaging, and I do really like this. I know it's quite basic and quite bland, but I just love it. It looks like this, you know, the schematics or the blueprints, whatever, of the Guardian robot. I think it looks great. We've got obviously the lovely logo there. Let's see if I can spin this around. There's absolutely nothing on the rest of it though, guys, nothing at all. If I take this, just bring it down ever so slightly like that, that is the front. What I'm going to attempt to do now then is open the package. I'll show you how it's packaged inside, and then after that I'll take it out and we'll start the full review. But there is the beautiful looking box, and again I really like that. So the great news is this is how he comes packaged. To be honest, I'd completely forgotten how a Mega Supreme was packaged originally in the Siege box. What I mean by that is, as you can see, the robot is pretty much all intact, and we've just got to attach these to the back. Whereas with some of the Titans that we've had in the box, you've needed to, I suppose, assemble a few of the other parts to it. I've got the original, I suppose, countdown little Micromaster there to do a comparison with Lunar Tread, who's up there. And as I've said in the opening sequence, there is the original eHobby version of this Guardian robot, or Gadep as he is known. So again, we can do a bit of a comparison with him. And again, if I could fit them on this stage, I will get both of the two Titans up together as well. So all I need to do now is set him free from there, and we can have a look at the robot. Right, so I've gone and totally jinxed myself, of course. When I took him out of the packaging, there is some, I suppose, mini assembly that you do require to get him into his proper looking robot mode. So what I've done is I'm going to show you how to do it, just in case you're thinking of purchasing one of these now, like myself. Now the prices have come down on them. So as you can see, his arms and pretty much most of what is going to be the rocket wasn't fully inserted. So what you've got this around the back. This was sort of all in place. This is his arms, and you can tell these are going to be his shoulders. And as I say, you can pretty much tell this is going to be a rocket. But what you need to do, it's pretty much like a great big jigsaw, to be honest. You're going to slot this in like so. So then once that's in, I'm going to lift these just up the way, just so you can see, hopefully now, if I lift these up, see you've got these slots here and here. So with this, you can make out, there is the slot. So obviously we want this to go coming out. So I'm going to try and reach around the camera and indeed slot this into position. I don't think it's usually this hard. It's just because I'm 2.5 foot away from it, trying to reach over, in all honesty. Yep, there you go. That's gone in now. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Sometimes doing these reviews makes things look harder than what they are, because obviously if it was just in front of you, you wouldn't have this issue at all. So that's going to slot. That's just missing. It hasn't gone all the way in. Let's click that in, and then what it looks like you do is you just collapse that up. And I think this is going to, there we go, that's going to now hold all that into position. So I wanted to show you that, as I say, just in case you're a little bit perplexed when you open it up and aren't too sure how it goes. In all honesty, I did have to check my Mega Supreme mold just to make sure that I was getting it right. So there is the main robot. There is Lunar Tread. We'll have a look at him in a little bit more detail in a second. And then here are all your blast effects. So there is, let's see if I can show you all these. This is so hard to review when he's this big. So you've got the giant bottom one, like so. You've then got, that's probably the next in size. I'm nowhere near the camera. Sorry, I'm trying to show you this. Basically all the same ones that a Mega Supreme had by the looks of it, but without the sort of damage effect on it, just the bright orange. Right, what I'm going to try and do now then is do some first impressions. Now I've got to confess straight off the bat, I'm massively biased because I absolutely love this colour scheme. And you may be wondering why I didn't get it as soon as it come out, because in the UK this was £220, which is probably about $300 with the exchange rate. And I just couldn't justify it, whereas now obviously he's been massively reduced. This was now £90 from In Demand Toys. Right, let's have a look. So the head sculpt is beautiful. Does the visor lift up? No, it doesn't, but we can spin this around. We can pull out the faux little turret there. And the head sculpt is great. I prefer, to be honest, this blue and white colour scheme on him, even though I love a Mega Supreme. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's because of that episode. I just really like this colour scheme. The blue on it works well. Translucent plastic there. Just the subtle bit of red in there makes it stand out. With regards to articulation then, these will go all the way out to the side like so. So if you wanted to, you can do that too. You can hear there on the ratchets. Now, of course, it's going to be restricted now because I've put the wings on, but without the wings, it would go all the way around, no hassle whatsoever. You've got swivel there underneath the shoulder. Is there I don't think there's an ab crunch, in all honesty. I think it's just going to be, let me move the arms up out of the way. You can hear how tight them ratchets are. Yeah, it won't be an ab crunch. It'll just be me tilting the whole thing forward from where the hips are. So if I stand him back up, I'm not sure if he has a waist swivel. I honestly cannot remember because I am very guilty of buying these figures and sticking them straight on a shelf, which I did with a Mega Supreme. Right, let's come down a little bit so I can hopefully get the next part we want to see just in shot. So we've got the legs. I'm going to hold on to this tight. This will, of course, kick all the way up to the front. It'll go all the way up to where it's restricted, to be honest. You've got all this area here. Let's move the arms out of the way. And the same, it will kick all the way back. So you've got the full 180 degrees. You can get a splits if you want. You can already tell by how that looks that this will also, wow, listen to them ratchets, go all the way out to the side. This is scary noisy, scary stiff. What have we got? We've got a swivel underneath the hip. We've got a knee bend. We've got a ankle tilt and rock. It's really articulate, which the Titans are, to be fair, but as you can hear, it's sounding incredibly robust. Yeah, it is huge. It's definitely going to have a presence on anybody's shelf. So what I'm going to, first impressions, again, as I said, I admit it, I'm biased, I love it. What I'm going to do now, though, is have an attempt at transforming him, and then I can show you the base mode, and then we'll come back and do the comparisons as well. Okay then, guys, I've got him in his base mode. Obviously, I do have to apologise, no transformation process on this video. I am going to do my absolute very best to see if I can get one done. Might need my wife to film me doing it or something because it's just too big and I can't even fit it on the station, never mind with me reaching around trying to transform it. However, what I will tell you is it's not that complicated at all and the instructions are great. Right, we're going to do this in stages again because I just can't fit it all on. So this is the tank. It is huge. It looks very good, to be fair. To give you an idea of the size of it, there is, you know, quite a large deluxe legacy figure, and you know, it's probably 3 or 4 of these. It is huge. This is a masterpiece, trailbreaker. This tank is massive. Now, you could say it's a negative, but for me, I think it's okay, especially with how toys get older. There is no batteries on this like the original. Obviously, the tank went around. You've just got these wheels which fit into the grooves on the track. No problem. You can move this up and down, which is great. You can move this up and down. However, again, I suppose another tiny negative thing is you can't rotate the turret because that's the robot's head there. And yeah, you'll just snap it straight off. So you don't want to be doing that. There's a couple of other things I've found that I can show you again in robot mode whilst transforming him. But this is what's great about these Titan figures, is they really do turn them into what they are, you know, play sets, bases. And it reminds me of the old Japanese figures as well. So I've got that just about on the tracks. But what I wanted to show you was things like this. So inside the front of the tank, as a little bit of a bonus, and again, just for a bit of fun, making this more of a play set, there is Lunar Tread. He can come straight out and roll down there as well. If I just close this back up, you can, of course, attach all of the blast effects to this. Well, not all of, well, you probably could actually, but I'm just going to attach some of the main ones. And again, I've got to confess that I've started to now really enjoy the blast effects. I think it was CG Mega Supreme that was my first sort of real introduction to them, and I was like, I don't like these, I don't really see the point, but now I do really like them, and it is mainly probably because I'm not that gifted at doing photos and things like that. But you can't deny that that looks really, really good. So while I've got it in this particular angle at the moment, let's just get a little lunar tread. Let's have a quick look at him compared to Countdown. In fact, I'm going to put Countdown there. In fact, what I'll do, I'll keep him exactly like that and show you the other little bonuses that this play set has got. How does this? I know this opens. There we go. I've just done it. So there's a little component or little space, shall we say. You can hide Micromasters in there. They can stand up. No issues whatsoever. You can put other Micromasters on here. You can put deluxe size figures on the track, to be fair. They do all fit perfectly, but it is basically based for Micromasters, because if I can turn this around ever so slightly, I don't know if you can see it. If you can't, I'm just going to move the track. So in fact, yeah, I'll move the track off. You'll see how this attaches really sort of easily as well. And you can make out obviously that this was just folded out from the back of him. Typically it's got completely stuck now, but if I turn this to this angle here, you can see there is one of these, I suppose, connecting ramps. These connect to the same as your other Micromaster bases that were released in the War for Cybertron trilogy, and indeed even the Generation 1 versions of this particular figure. Right, what I'm going to try and do now then is let's scale up. It should let me do it all in one go. Apologies if this is pretty primitive, which it is. Before we go further, I'm going to show you this in more detail as well. Back in the robot mode, I forgot you could open up that, which is, of course, the rockets on the inside of, I suppose, the top of his chest. Let's just move this up to here for now. We've got the top of the rocket, which is here. And again, as I said, this is a play set. So there's a space inside here where you can pop your little Micromaster figures if you want that. Funnily enough, it's a Doctor Who figure, but it's the same size as your Micromasters, which you can see here now while we convert Lunar Tread into his robot mode, fold out the legs, turn around the arms, and if instead of having Optimus in there, I've just took that off. And again, it's because I've got no space. I'm trying to reach around and trying to keep in balance. So Lunar Tread fits in there, no problem whatsoever. This will obviously close up, and to be honest, this has just come off this little hinge here. So if I open that back up, reattach that there, you'll see where it was. And again, you can, if you wanted to, lock him in there. Right, is that going in? There we go. Close that, and that is there. So the rocket, this is again giant. It's probably about just depends how you put these, probably about 2 foot. You've got that movement there and how you want to balance it, how high you want it to sit up. And what I'm going to attempt to do now is just lift the phone up and show you the base. So there you go. It looks really bland with nothing else there. But again, you can put figures inside here on the top. You can close this. You can lift this up. You can close it if you want. You can have them standing behind there. They are the ramps that I was just referring to. These all clip together exactly the same on there. The same as this side. Obviously there with the figure open, you could do the same on that side. This is the tank that's on it. And again, it's just huge. There's the rocket that obviously you can put. Oh, no, that's not going to work. That will knock everything over. But the base, to be honest, considering the size of the figure, isn't the biggest. But I suppose not many, and I said this last time, and I think a few people confirmed it. However, I'd like your opinions as well. Will you be displaying it in this mode? I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be displaying it in the main robot, which, to be honest, is the mode that we are going to go back to. And again, we can have a look at a few of the other things that I missed out on the first impressions. So let's go back to robot mode. Okay, then back in his robot mode. And again, I just want to reiterate to people that I am sorry there's no transformation video uploaded yet, but just again reassure you guys that it is really simple. So if you know, maybe a little bit apprehensive about buying a figure so big because of that, please don't. It's really quite simple. I think it's got to be due to the size, to be honest. Now, the things that I missed out was these on the front, which is of course amazing. It's a lovely little addition there, I suppose, of the arsenal that he does in fact have. The other cool thing as well is the fact that you can put on here just, you know, like a little bit of, I suppose, blast effects that he's getting shot at, you know, via these just on there. It looks like, I suppose, maybe mini puncture wounds or something. These do fit on the little posts there, no problem. There is also definitely, oh, that was me turning at the hip, but there is also definitely a waist rotation that I found out during the transformation, but obviously was a little bit apprehensive of when doing the first impressions, because again I didn't want to break it. Right, so you've got them little puncture things. You can bring up the arm like so. There is more 5mm ports on the end of these, you can see. So again, you can put more blast effects on this. And again, I suppose these are just little cool additions, especially, as I say, for people who love doing their photos way better than me. And of course, on the main gun, you can get this, you can build it all up, make, I suppose, in fact, let's see if we can do this. I think it would be something like that, perhaps, I don't know, something like that. And then we can, I'm saying we can attach it, I'm presuming we can. Yeah, there you go. So you can attach that there as well. So all these little things that do make it look really good. So there is Lunar Tread, and indeed Countdown. I'm sure it's called, I'm saying Countdown. I'm probably going to get corrected, but I always, I suppose, refer to in G1 terminology. But that's them little ones on there. Right, this is the big test now. Let's sort of see if I can get both of them on camera at once, which this is going to be mega difficult. So here comes, oh, the original. Let's just watch. Oh yeah, I can. There you go. There you go. That is both of them sort of side by side. Let's have a look at this. So let's slide up and down a little bit. So of course there's not as much different colors as there is on the original, because these were blue, they're yellow, etc. Large Autobot logo there. I'm surprised actually they've not put one there, but I suppose he's not an Autobot, is he? He's a Guardian robot. That gives you an idea of size with that. One other thing I need to do very quickly, and again, I'm just going to, this is even going to fit on screen. So this is exactly the same, you can't even see him. This is exactly the same mold and size as the original Generation 1 Omega Supreme, which you can see is now completely tiny. So let's give you an idea of some of these sizes of this figure. So you're not going to see much of the actual Titan, but that is the Generation 1, as I say, e-hobby version of this particular figure. I just want to show you how big he is compared to some other figures. So that's obviously Generation 1 Optimus Prime. This is Generation 1 Bumblebee. And now I suppose what things that you want to see with regards to some of the newer figures. So that's a leader class double dealer at the moment. This is, let's just see what else I can grab. That's a deluxe Combiner Wars Rook. So, and in fact, let's just put a load of figures out. There's a Jeep there. I'm just going main Hasbro figures at the moment. Now, if I can just about reach through this gap without smashing everything up. I've got a Frankentron, but that's not the one I want, because that's just a deluxe. I want to bring in Dreadwing, who is, of course, a leader class figure, and he is just up to the knees. So this is a giant figure. He really is big. There's too much going on there, so you can't see, and it's struggling to focus. So let me move these. But what I think these Titans are great for, basically these figures are the Doctor Wu, but they're the same size as the old Takara WST. So that's a Takara WST, world's smallest transformer. That's a Red Alert. So they're the official ones. And then I think you saw him earlier. That is the Doctor Wu Optimus Prime. So you can see these are going to scale brilliant with these sort of figures. There's a core class Optimus. So they do scale pretty well with core class figures as well. Third party, there's a New Age David. There's a Magic Square Trailbreaker. And there is a Iron Factory Mirage Sheen. So that sort of, again, gives you an idea of just how big this Titan figure is. And as I say, while he's as heavily reduced as he is at the moment, in the UK anyway, like, as I say, I paid 90 for this, and it was 220 when he first came out. So it's worthwhile perhaps waiting for larger purchases like this. But I don't think there's much more to say about this guy. Really impressed. Obviously glad that I waited to get the reduction in the price, but it's just stunning. These Titan class figures are fantastic. One last quick little glimpse. If you want to see this guy in more detail, he's got his own video on here as well. That's eHobby Gadep. And there you go, guys. That is Titan class Guardian and the Generation Select. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments. Take care.